into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello everybody, you are watching and listening to AFTERBUZZ TV Spotlight On. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, rate and subscribe there as well. If you want to use the hashtag today, it's Spotlight On. I'm Jason Ikeler, and joining me today is very special guest, Jack Griffo. How's it going?
It's going good.
Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, before we talk about everything you have going on, I'm just going to hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
First thing that pops in your head. Okay, last time you lied.
Yesterday.
Was it a big lie, a little lie?
I don't remember. I'm assuming that I lied yesterday. I'm that bad of a person. No, legitimately lied. I usually keep the truth pretty. I don't know.
Pretty good.
I'm pretty truthful. Yeah.
That's a good quality.
Yeah.
Okay, what about celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. I just saw Avengers. Scarlett Jo.
Oh, that's a good one too. Song you're most embarrassed to admit is on your iPod.
Ooh, probably the Really Really Like You song.
Oh, Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's really catchy.
That's on mine too. Don't feel that bad. Okay, what's one trend that you think needs to die?
Ooh, one trend that needs to die: sagging.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm even guilty of it. Like I'm not like, yeah, I'm guilty of sagging, but it's run its course.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay, last TV show you binge watched?
Ooh, last one I binged. I just recently watched the first couple seasons of American Horror Story. Like boom, like out, and it was awesome. But like full, probably the last one I did fully all seasons is Dexter.
Oh,
I did that, yeah, and that was good.
I tried to watch that. It got a little too gory, and then I'm like,
I'm down
much.
for it though.
Down for the gore.
Like it. Yeah, it was a good series.
Okay, one deal breaker in a relationship.
Ooh, I guess overconfidence. I don't know.
Okay.
Like confident, like I like
cockiness
confidence,
almost.
but like cockiness. Yeah, like being hot, but you know it, kind of thing.
Do you ever have girls now that you're on TV come up to you and try to date you just because of that?
I don't think it's been as blunt as like, here, let me date you, but like,
very forward.
Yeah, like that forward. But I guess, yeah. I mean, girl, yeah. I mean, to an extent, but it's not crazy.
You can sort of figure out who's in it.
Yeah,
who's in it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, if you were stranded on a desert island, what's one item you would bring with you?
One item. This is always like a really good question, and I feel like I always give the wrong answer. I guess something to like hunt with, so like I guess a knife.
I was gonna say you got that new Apple Watch.
Oh,
that could maybe get you off the island.
My Apple Watch is pretty sweet.
What's one person you would bring with you?
One person. I'd bring Bear Grylls with me.
Good thinking.
Like why? Like who else would? I mean, if you were stranded, like you'd want Bear Grylls to be with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. And if you were going to be on any other Nickelodeon show besides yours, which one would you be on?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a good question. Never gotten that. 100 Things looks pretty good. Hathaway's was really fun. We did a crossover with them.
Okay.
School of Rock looks good.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, School of Rock would be really fun.
You got a little music in you too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Okay, let's go back to the beginning though. So you're from Florida. When did you first sort of get the acting bug?
I got it. My brothers were actors.
Okay.
They were in community theater growing up. They were in high school and they did a magnet program. And they did shows like every month, and I would go see them. So instead of like going to football games like all my friends, and I would still go to those, but I would go to like shows a lot. And that kind of sparked my interest for it. And thinking about it all the time, I was like, my parents got me like a little agent or whatever when I was like really young, and I did like some print work and stuff. But I was like a toddler. And that was just like because they knew someone, they knew if they had you know, a connection or something like that. But by the time I was like 9, 10, I wanted to, do what my older brothers were doing in high school, and that was community theater. So that was the closest thing I could get to it since I wasn't in high school.
Yeah.
So I started doing community theater and stuff when I was around 10, 11, and even 12. And then I started taking classes downtown, like acting classes, on camera kind of stuff. And around the time I just turned 13, I think. Maybe it was like a little after I turned 13. Someone came and encouraged me to come out to LA and just kind of meet with some agents and audition. And I did when I was 13, almost 14 at that point. And after that was it. I didn't go back to Florida. I stayed here with my mom. And my dad ended up moving out a couple summers later.
Okay.
And so it just happened, yeah.
Are your older brothers still doing acting?
They are, yeah. One is in New York and one is here. And my other siblings are in Florida and Virginia. So we're kind of
you got a big family.
We're all over, yeah.
Okay. What was the first role you booked?
The first in LA?
Yeah.
The first thing I booked in LA, significant, was it was one line on Bucket and Skin. Yeah, it was one line. And
what's the line? Do you remember it?
It was, oh man, no one's asked me this in a long time. Can someone explain to me how this improves our surfing? I was Glenn's surf team member, and yeah, that was my one line. And
That's
I remember going into rehearsal, and I was so amped up for it, and I flubbed it. I completely flubbed it in front of everyone. But it came really full circle with that job, especially because my dialogue coach on that show, the dialogue coach on that show, Deanne Abner, she's my dialogue coach now on Thundermans.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a real weird full circle thing.
Did she remember you and your line?
Yeah. We talked about it when in the pilot of Thundermans, or the series, when we first started the series. We were like, it was really cool. It was a really cool full circle moment. And the woman who casted me in that one line actually casted me in my first pilot a couple years later for Nickelodeon.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was something that didn't get picked up. But yeah, just some weird things like that.
And talk to me about that a little bit, because I think when people see actors on TV, they just think they're handed all these roles, but you go on so many auditions and have so many almost things.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot. I mean for a kid, 3 years is a long time to just literally just audition and keep going at it. And 3 years doesn't seem like that long of a time, but when you're 13 and 14, 15, it is. And so that's what I did from my early teen years. I auditioned and I got callbacks and nothing really stuck. I ended up testing eventually, and that's pretty much the last step you can get pretty much to getting things. I didn't get things, and it sucked. It's hard for a kid, but you just keep going at it. And by the time I was 15, no, I think I just turned 16, I got my first pilot, like I was saying earlier, and that ended up not getting picked up, which was a real bummer. But then I think it was less than 6 months later, Nickelodeon called and said, sorry that didn't work out with your first one, but we really think you would be good for this. And it was Thundermans.
That's cool.
And yeah, so I booked that, and that's my story, and that's what I've been doing.
Was there ever a moment after you hear no so many times where you're like, oh, maybe I should do something else?
No, there wasn't. Like I said, it can be discouraging, but I knew that I wanted to do this and I could do this, and I was here for a reason, and yeah, so I kept at it. But no, I never thought about going back home.
So Thundermans starting season 3 is premiering this summer. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about Max? What's going to happen? Yeah, well, Max has some new character stuff for sure. A couple girls, friends, just storylines in general with a family. He goes through a lot of changes in his evil life. A lot of cool things happen, and we have a new kind of new factor of the show, new dynamic, if you will. It's our little sister, and so that's a big deal for us. It's a whole different ball game now since we have a little girl, and it's fun, man. She's really, really cool. I don't even think they've released any pictures of her yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's like a total secret right now. That's cool. But yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited for the premiere. And then the show's very physical. Mm-hmm. How much of it is you? How much of it is stunt guy? I'd say it's about 60-40 between me and my stunt double, him being the more so. But yeah, he comes in and he does flips for me and stuff. And I mean, I dabbled in gymnastics. I did it when I was really young, and I can do a couple things. And so they do occasionally let me do some flips and things like that. But for the most part, when you see big extravagant things, when I'm thinking
in the dance episode in season 1, I think it was, or maybe it was 2, but there was a dance episode, and there was a bunch of crazy cool stuff that, and obviously that was my double, but yeah, they let me do some stuff, and it's cool to be on like a stunt-ish show. I mean, it's, as much as it can be for Nickelodeon, you know what I mean? Like, they don't like to do dangerous things, obviously, because most of us are minors. But it was cool. It was very cool, and all my stunt coordinators and my doubles have been awesome to me and just teach me things. So it's been really awesome.
That's fun. And the show is like blown up. Kids are obsessed with it. What are some of the crazy fan stories that have happened?
You know, it's just not so much stories as like friends will tell me like my friends will tell me they have this, you know, friend that, you know, watches it all the time that's back in Florida, you know what I mean? Like, when I think of, like, my brother in New York, when I think of my brother in Virginia, it's like, I feel like I said before, like, my family's really spread out, and I know a lot of people everywhere, and like you said, it's kind of really popular among kids, and that's the craziest thing to me. It's really rewarding as well, is that, like, so many kids across the country and even the world, really, because we're in, I don't know, like 50 countries or something like that, is, you know, a lot of people respond well to the show. And it's been really cool to see on social media, and to see, and just from my best friends back home being like, this kid I'm babysitting like loves you.
That's
like,
cool.
It's really weird, you know what I mean? It's a really weird concept.
Did you grow up on Nickelodeon?
I did. I watched Drake and Josh. I watched Zoe 101 for sure. I watched The Amanda Show, and all that was a little bit too old for me, but I still watched it. Like, I don't know if my brothers watched that show, but I remember that show like ending around the time that I was old enough to like start watching shows. Okay. You know what I mean? Because I'm 18. Like, they were a little bit older than me, that generation.
That's fun though. So how do you brought up the Amanda Show, so I'll just ask it. How do you avoid, now that you're 18 in Hollywood, how do you avoid making some of those same pitfalls that other previous Nickelodeon Disney stars have made?
You know, LA is a small town, and there's a lot that goes on. Yeah. And but really, I mean, it depends what you want for yourself, and if you want to go off on a little tangent and be a bad boy or bad girl, like, it's there for you. But if you want to, you know, stay kind of straight-laced, that's there for you too. It's just really what you want. I don't really believe in people like falling into things. It's just what you like. If you want to be, you know, it's you have to be true to yourself, you know. And I never want to judge anyone that makes mistakes or makes, you know, certain decisions, because they're just doing them. And you know, this whole, you know, world of LA, it's a lot of stuff going on, and you know, it just, I don't know.
That's good answer. So Sharknado 3.
Yes.
What can you tell me about this?
I just did ADR for Sharknado 3 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I saw, like, for the first time, I saw a little take of it, and it looks cool. Yeah, and I don't want to say I was, like, worried, but, you know, the Sharknadoes are crazy. Like, the whole franchise is bonkers insane. And I just didn't know how it was going to look at all, because shooting that movie, man, like, it was the weirdest, coolest, like, most different experience ever shooting anything. Like, we would go to set, and like the lines, like the script would completely change when we got on set, and like me and Ryan would do a scene, and they'd be like, just improv it, just say whatever. Oh, wow. Just like literally just say whatever, and just get from A to B to C, and say whatever you want.
And it's not like that at all in the Thundermans. It's very scripted, right?
Yeah. Everything else I've done is scripted. I mean, like, to an extent, like on Thundermans, I can change. Like, we can change a couple things, like here and there, especially if it's like kind of like, you know, because obviously our writers aren't kids, and no writers are kids for these kinds of shows. So there are going to be moments where you're like, hey, he would really say like this, or he wouldn't really say this word, or things like that. So we can change like that. But Sharknado was completely like, there was a script, but if one thing was weird and I asked about it, and he would just be like, yeah, just do whatever you want, just say whatever, just literally cool, just improv it, you guys will do fine, just get through it. And I was like,
no pressure.
It's so cool and so freeing as an actor, though, in a way, is to like, it's literally like I was in like a groundlings class, but we were shooting a movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your character.
Yeah, Billy, which actually I thought was ironic because my little brother in Thundermans' name is Billy. But yeah, Billy, he's there with his friend, played by Melvin Gregg. He's really cool. He's a Viner. He's a cool guy. Okay. He's there with his friend, and they're just going through the park, Universal, and they meet these two girls, and he's really nervous, and it was kind of funny because I had this dynamic with a friend that was like, you imagine like being that kind of like nervous, dorky kid with your best friend who's completely opposite. Okay. Who's completely like forward and like laying it on for girls, and I literally had that friend. Oh, so that's funny. It was really easy for me to play that role, and kind of being like, oh, come on, dude, like let's just go, stop flirting with them. You know what I mean? Like that was me. So that was the dynamic between me and my friend, and obviously I liked Ryan's character, and I was really nervous to say hello to her, and we started talking, and we met in the park, and then all of a sudden obviously the movie takes place, and the Sharknado happens, and it's crazy. We run around, and a lot of things happen.
Had you seen the other two before you signed up?
Before I signed up, yes, because it's actually a really weird story. I don't know if we have time. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a really weird story. My girlfriend in real life, Ryan, she booked the movie. Oh, okay. And I had I didn't have any idea that I would be on it. So she told me she booked it, and I was like, oh, it's great. She's like, well, I'm going to watch the first two tonight. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll come over and watch it with you. So we watched the first two movies, and she literally was leaving the next day to Orlando. And I was planning on coming to Orlando like in a week to see her on set and to just be home because that's where I'm from. Yeah. I'm literally from Orlando, like 5 minutes away from where she was shooting. Oh, that's crazy. So I was going to make a trip out of it. I was going to go home and see my family, also see her on set, and it was going to be fun. So she goes, and I get a call like the next night from this guy, and it's on her phone, and like this guy answers. I'm like, hello, and he's like, hello, I'm the director of Sharknado 3, and I have your girlfriend here. Just want to run it by you. Would you like to be in the movie? Oh wow, that's crazy. And it was so weird. It was the weirdest thing ever. So apparently, what happened was, she was talking to the director, Anthony, and she asked who her love interest is, and he said, well, we haven't casted yet. We're thinking of casting local. And he said, we really want something real, something real chemistry. And she's like, well, my boyfriend in real life is an actor, and he's available. And he's like, who? And she said, well, his name is Jack, and he's on the Thundermans. And he's like the superhero show with the kids on Nick, and she's like, yeah. And Anthony's like, my little girl watched that show. He's perfect. Oh, that's cool. It was really weird. And that was it. And he called me, and Ryan was like, of course, Ryan was like, are you serious? You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Like, that doesn't happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to audition or like nothing. It was so weird. And he calls me and offers me the role, and puts me on a flight that night. That's crazy. To Orlando. So I got to see my family out of it. Like, I got to shoot a movie. Like, it was a really cool experience. It was awesome. That's fun. Yeah. So you've done a lot of like kid stuff, and now this sort of comedy thing. Yeah. What is there anything that you haven't done that you still want to conquer? Voiceover. I really want to do voiceover. Yeah. And I just opened that dialogue with Nick, and hopefully something happens. But I don't know. There's really no plans, but I do want to do voiceover. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And do you see yourself doing more movies in the future, more TV? I think so. After Thundermans, I'm going to just audition. And like a lot of people ask, like, what do you want to do, TV or film? And it's kind of like, I'm going to audition for everything. See what you get. I'm going to see what I get and what's right for me and what I can bring light to and just be honest. And so, it's really, the answer is both. The answer is I'm going to audition for both. So, is there one like former Nick star whose career you'd sort of like to emulate? They're not so much emulate, but like there's definitely people that I admire, like that have come out of Nick. Shia, obviously. That was Disney. He was on ABC. That was Disney, but Keenan. That's what I was thinking of. Keenan on SNL. Like he does his thing, and he's had a great career out of Nickelodeon. And like I said, not so much emulate, but definitely admirable for sure. That's cool. So you do a little bit of music. Mm-hmm. Your YouTube channel is kind of huge. Do you see yourself putting out an album, going down that route at all? I haven't had a ton of focus on it since Thundermans started, and it was kind of like I did it as a hobby. Like before Thundermans, I would like put covers out just in my room, not a big deal at all. And I shot I've shot 2 music videos. I shot one with Kelsey like a long time ago, and I shot a new one, Slingshot, which is it's done okay, and it's I think I did that when I was like in between season 1 and 2, but after that I just kind of really was focusing on Thundermans and focusing on my acting, and but music's still definitely there. Like I still play music, still sing all the time, and maybe once Thundermans is done, I can put some more focus on it and bring it back to that. But my main thing is like, especially with being on Nick, is like I didn't want anything with music to happen like forcefully. Like I didn't want anything to happen like that wasn't true to me, and any kind of, I don't want to say like bubblegum, but like it's that kind of feel. Like it's
kind of like if you're on a kids show, they want you to make kids music.
Right.
So
and music is like something that if I were to do it, it would have to be completely organic. And but like I said, there's definitely going to be some time here coming up when I'm done with Thundermans, and we'll see.
And you just graduated high school.
I did.
Do you see college in your future, or you're already employed?
Possibilities. I told myself, and I'm not the most academic, so if I was to go to college, a lot of my focus would be on that. And I told myself I'm gonna give myself at least a year once Thundermans ends to just audition and see what happens. So maybe here in the future, school. But I know after Thundermans, I need to give myself some time to just see what sticks, because I know this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that seems like the best plan for me, so I'm gonna stick with that.
That's cool. So 10 years from now, where are you? What are you doing?
Oh man, 10 years from now. I hope at that point I can look back and not necessarily be proud, but know that I followed my path and I did my due diligence, and I wasn't lazy, and I worked hard every day. And there's not really much more you can do other than do your best, and whatever is supposed to happen will happen. And I hope I can just do good work. That's all I want to do. And if that's in front of the camera or behind the camera, I don't really know, but I know that I want to be in this industry in some way. But yeah, I just want to do good work.
That's cool. So Thundermans on Nickelodeon June 27th premiere?
Is that the date?
I think so. That's what I read on the internet.
Really? Okay. Sweet.
We'll go with that. If not, just look it up. Use Google.
They literally haven't told us a date. We literally just heard. We heard it was going to be fall, and last week on set we were filming the 5th episode of the 15 in season 3, and we were talking, and someone came on a set and said they moved the air date. Like they moved it, and we were like, "What?
Everybody go faster!"
Yeah, and because our editors are like, "What? Like what do you mean?"
Yeah,
and. Yeah, they moved it up to July. I think that's right.
Okay.
Or did you say June?
June 27th.
Really?
According to Wikipedia. I don't know if that's official.
It could be.
Who knows?
I heard June or July.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely bumped up. I don't know why, but yeah. So it sounds like it's gonna be.
That's coming up then. And Sharknado 3. When does that come out?
Sharknado 3 is gonna be July 22nd on Sci-Fi.
Okay, perfect. And if we want more from you, where can we find it?
My social medias are at Little J Griffo.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in today, man.
Yeah, thank you.
For Jack, I'm Jason Ikeler. And if you guys want more from AfterBuzz TV, you can find it on AfterBuzzTV.com or on Facebook and Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. And we will see you back in here next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.